further ado, tonight we've got, as I said, Ash Horner from Horner Wines, and we also joined by Dannon, who's one of our superstars from the new business team. So yeah, we'll nice to meet you. Nice for you to come along and join us. But I'll hand it over to Ash now and see how he is. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Going very good. Next to me, cozy fire here. Yeah, pretty warm.
Looks lovely there.
Looking forward to trying a few wines and talking to some angels and yeah, hopefully answer some questions.
Absolutely.
So yeah. What do you want to
why don't you start by just introducing yourself and telling everyone how you got into winemaking?
Yep. So my name's Ash Horner from Horner Wines, obviously. We've been with Naked Wines since 2013. That was our first vintage. And we sort of haven't looked back since then. I was working for a bigger winery at the time and saw an advert for Naked Wines and applied for it, wrote a letter and went down and met everyone and tried my wines and secured a deal, I suppose, to make some wine for you guys. And yeah, but it's gone crazy ever since. Hasn't slowed down and it's changed everything. So yeah, we're very grateful, actually. It's been good. Grateful to Naked Wines and grateful to the Angels of support.
Fantastic. So how did you actually become a winemaker? Why did you get into wine?
Well, I was a high school dropout and couldn't get a job in the mines or anything like that. So I tried. I just didn't go to year 12 and I was smart but didn't apply myself. So you get that. So I just started working in vineyards for cash. That's where I could get a job. And my dad put a vineyard in at the same time, so I helped him put a vineyard in. I didn't really think about winemaking or the wine at that time. When I was putting in vineyards, I was just putting in posts and hammering nails and planting vines and picking grapes. I was probably a bit too young to realise what was going on. And then that was when I was about 16, 17, 18. And then I applied for an apprenticeship at Rosemount Estate up the Upper Hunter. It was a pretty big going concern up there at the time and applied for the job and got the apprenticeship, which was good. You didn't need too many brains for it, I think, but got that one. So, and again, just didn't look back, put everything into it. Anything I do, I put everything into. So, yeah, just coming out the other end, that was just in being a cellar hand and just kicking about, not doing much. And then probably 5 or 6 years later, decided to study a bit of winemaking and have a go at it.
Did you work underneath any, good winemakers while you were there? I mean, it's pretty big.
Yeah, Phil Shaw and Andrew Kerner. Andrew Kerner from Blue Pyrenees. It was a good one. I've had Mark Davison from Tamblane as well. Had him along the way. Dave Thatchers from Songlines Estates. He's a winemaker up here as well. Yeah, I've had a lot of influence by a lot of people. Worked for some big guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Been interesting. Got me to where I am. I took a little bit from everyone, and yeah.
Is there one person that you would say has influenced you most, or is it sort of just a bit from everywhere, as you said?
A bit from everywhere, but I think more so when I got into winemaking was more so when I was working with Mark Davison.
Right.
So I suppose that's where I really kick-started in winemaking because it was a big winery and I was handling a lot of different grapes, a lot of different markets, wines for markets, a lot of tasting. That was probably where it all kicked off, I reckon, in winemaking. Whereas my cellar hand work and my winery work and how to do things properly in the winery probably come from places like Rosemount. I also did a stint at McWilliams under Phil Ryan over there and a couple of good guys there. And I learned a lot there as well, just cellar hand skills and how to do it properly. And, because, you can make wine, throw it in a bathtub and ferment it, but it's not, that's what people think you do. But it's not just about the winemaker, it's also about the people that help you and help around you, They do the work for you. Because if they don't do it properly, then it doesn't matter what you do on the tasting bench or how you tell them to do it or what you tell them to do.
Yep. And so you mentioned Tamblane. Is that where you sort of had this, you sort of fell in love with organic winemaking, or was that bred before? Or?
Yeah, saw organic fruit there and saw it coming in and thought, well, this is as good as any other grapes I've seen, if not better. And met organic growers and learned organic farming through Mark and the growers as alike, and then also the winemaking's not much different to conventional winemaking. There's allowable products that we have to put into the wine that aren't genetically modified or made. And a lot of those ingredients are found in conventional wines or winemaking already. There's a few ones that aren't allowed that are made out of, different products that aren't allowed to use. So the winemaking, to adapt to organic winemaking was quite easy. It was just more also watching your sulfur levels. You concentrated more on pH and that sort of stuff, and the flavour and the acid levels in the wine, instead of just picking on numbers, I suppose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you're pretty much 100% organic. Is that your sort of philosophy now?
Yeah, our philosophy is if we can get organic fruit from the right area and the right variety, we'll go for it. But in saying that, if we can get grapes that are in the right area and the right variety, and they're not organic, we'll go for them as well. But for naked wines, they're all organic, and that's what we try to focus on. Yeah. It's hard to
And Ash, what's the process of becoming organic?
The process? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in the vineyard, it's a three-year vintage. So 3 years it takes you to become certified. You've got to show that you're using organic products, and over 3 years you'll get audited every year. And then so you can be in conversion to organic in those 3 years, but you can't market organic. You know what I mean? But you can be in conversion, and then after 3 years you're certified organic. So that's the vineyard, and then in the winery, you basically apply for a certification through the Australian Organic Association in Australia, and that's just paperwork and procedures, what you're going to do, how you're going to keep your non-organic wine away from organic wine, how you're not going to cross-contaminate, what products you're going to use, are they allowable, all that sort of stuff. So you get audited every year on that, and so your winery's got to be certified organic as well, and then finally the bottling line has got to be all certified as well. But I don't have to be audited on that one, thank God. That's the bottling line looks after that. And so as the vineyard growers look after their part, I look after my part. But in saying that, we've all got to share information between each other, like organic certificates, and make sure things are, what they say, we say they are, I should say. So there's a lot of cross-checking and getting certificates off people, and they're all on the same page. Yeah. Did that answer the question? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, and you pay a fee. Who would have thought? And then you're certified organic. And you get a little label on the back here, which is only very little. We've got a little here, but a little certification there. Bud logo, they call it. And with the organic number in there, so people know. Yeah.
Because it's true that quite a few people might run their vineyards and winery as organic, but don't want to have the stress of having to get it certified, pay the fees and all that, isn't it?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you can claim you're organic, but I think you have to put it on the back label. I don't think you can put it on the front label. And I think to actually put it on the front label, you need to be actually accredited or certified by accredited association. I think there's 3 or 4 of them now in Australia. And also if you want to export overseas, like to Europe and all that sort of stuff. But there's I take hats off to people that they want to do the right thing in vineyard like that, and they don't want to go through the whole, and we don't want to, I'm not a hippie or an organic hippie, we just like know where we get our food from and all that sort of stuff, and know who makes it and where it's coming from. But I take my hats off to people that do the right thing, but don't necessarily want to plaster it everywhere, But the people who come and talk to them or taste their wine, they can explain to them and take them through their approach, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it always becomes commercialised, doesn't it? Like anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of questions. Well, there's a lot of questions around organics here, but so David Reed asks, what's your philosophy behind organic? Why organics? I'll answer that one. And then Mike Halliburton also asks, do you think that organics does make a difference to the actual wine, leaving aside the environmental considerations.
Well, our philosophy behind organic winemaking, as I said, is first off getting organic grapes from an organic vineyard from a grower we know that we visit who's certified and it's been through the process. And then in the winery, our philosophy remains using the allowable products that we like to use in the wine that are allowed in organic certification. So we use a lot of milk products. There's a lot of different like protein, pea proteins out there. There's potato fining, for vegans, all sort of stuff. We just use skim milk and we use a little bit of bentonite and we watch our sulfurs and we have good pH levels in our wine. So our philosophy, it's pretty minimal really to what we do. So it's about treating the grape the best we can, I suppose. That's our philosophy between organic winemaking and why, because we like to know where our grapes come from, what they're sprayed with, who grows them, that sort of stuff, and know we're doing the right thing for the environment. I mean, birds in the vineyard, bees in the vineyard, ladybugs, grass as tall as your knees, stuff like that. Nice green paddocks. What was the second question?
Do you think you can, what's the difference apart from the environmental? Do you think it tastes better in the wine apart from the environmental?
Yeah, so I see a bit of a pristine flavour in organic wines that I don't see in conventional. I see it basically a bit just pure and cleaner, I feel, with conventional wines. But that's me. I could be wrong. Other people have different ideas, but that's what I feel. Yeah, just a bit clean, a bit more pristine, a bit more like the water of New Zealand spring water, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice and fresh. And yeah.
Yeah. And while we're on it, there's another question here from Michael and Paul. They're sort of asking similar sort of things. How do you manage pest and disease when you're organic?
So we're allowed to use sulfur, which stops Trois, that sort of stuff, and copper. We're allowed that in certain doses. So because it's a natural product, sort of. And then in terms of other pests and bugs, because we have birds in the vineyards, they, scare away other predators. We have ladybugs that eat the mold off the berries as well, like a Shiraz, they can do that. It's about bringing in other ecosystems and having a holistic approach in the vineyard where everything sort of feeds off everything and eliminates one thing and the other thing keeps growing, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so without going in there and just spraying a vineyard dead, we're using the natural environment to sort of grow, which is normal, which it should be like. It's like growing tomatoes in your backyard. You don't go out spraying with chemicals every day, and they grow pretty good, don't they? I think that the world's come to a point where it's like, you see a fly, you got to spray it with a bit of aerosol. Why? That sort of stuff. It's more about observation and seeing things and being active rather than sticking to a program and say, right, 2 weeks is up, I've got to spray for this because it potentially could happen. Whereas we go out there, have a look at the weather, see how things are traveling. Oh no, we'll skip it, we'll let it go. We won't spray some sulfur this week.
Yeah.
And and just sort of bit minimalistic, but keep an eye on it as well, I think.
And is there any way that you can, like, if you're organic but your next door neighbour's not, is there any way you can? I mean, how do you protect yourself?
You meant to have, I think it's a 10 or 20 metre barrier, which doesn't seem like a lot, but also you shouldn't spray, and it doesn't matter if you're conventional or non-conventional, you shouldn't spray when it's windy because it just sprays onto other things or doesn't actually spray to where you want to and can drift onto the other person's vineyard. You put trees in for wind breaks, that sort of stuff. That's all you can do really, unfortunately, unless you're good with your neighbour and you can sort of come up with a bit of a plan and just say, well, let me know when you're spraying and stuff like that. But the certifiers will come out and they'll look at the boundary and they'll make sure, they'll determine whether there's any risks to that sort of stuff.
Right. And I mean, are there any sort of common myths that you hear, around organics that you'd like to dispel tonight?
Organic wine doesn't have sulfur in it. believe it or not.
Say that again, sorry.
Organic wine does have sulphur in it.
Right.
Yes, SO2, 220. Now, it doesn't mean to say organic wine can't have sulphur in it. And usually they're called preservative-free wines, and they can be organic preservative-free, or they can be conventional wines and preservative-free. You know, it doesn't mean just because they're organic, they don't have sulphur. And we get a lot of people on that write they're disappointed that the wine's got sulphur because it's organic. You know, so we don't use sulphur. It's got a short-term life, and also they don't look as fresh as, you know, what they do. So we use a minimal amount. We just use it where we need it at different points. But it's a vital part of winemaking. It's been around for millions of years, and sulphur has, you know. A wine, I won't go into that. It might be a bit too technical. But,
there is, naturally when you make wine, sulfur is in the wine as well, isn't it?
when it ferments, there's a natural occurring sulfur, 2 or 3 parts or something like that. I was going to say preservative-free wine is classed as a wine anything from 10 parts per million of sulfur or less. It's sort of preservative-free wine. You can claim that. Yeah. Would that make sense to you? Probably might you, Paul.
Yeah. And is it true that dried fruit has potentially more sulfur than most wine?
Like thousands times.
Yeah.
And so chips and all that sort of stuff. Like you open a packet of chips, that's all you smell straight up. And I love my style of eating chips. You know, yeah, it's like 1,000 times more sulfur than wine. I think also in wine, it's not just the sulfur. You got a lot of histamines and enzymatic reactions and all that sort of stuff in wine that can sort of triggers people's reactions, whether it's sulfur, whether it's the histamine in the wine, especially Cabernet and Sauv Blanc, ones that are really pyrazine and really strong on the nose and that green character.
It gets a bad rap.
Yeah, they can get a bit of a hot flush here and they get a bit of a headache, some people. It's just too strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they drink too much.
Yes, that's generally the problem. And Mike asks, what's the price difference in terms of buying organically grown grapes compared to non-organically grown grapes? Sorry?
Did you say price difference?
Yes.
It shouldn't be anything, I don't think. No. One for
so
one.
there's no impact to your cost being organic?
No,
apart from getting it certified?
No. No, fruits, I think fruit's roughly about the same as everything else. Maybe a little bit dearer because I think you're getting a little bit better product as well. And I think a more cleaner product. So I think, but like any wine, I think a wine is bracketed in the quality it is, isn't it? Whether it's organic, non-organic, a wine's put for what people think it's worth. And yeah, we hopefully punch a bit above our weight for our price. I think we're pretty well priced for ours, around that sort of, or our little Jack range. What is it, $17 to $19, Paul? Something like that, is it?
Little Jack, yeah. That's right.
Which is pretty bloody good drinking. And for Angels, it's like $13, $14, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Which is
definitely. I definitely agree that your organic wines are priced really well, and they taste delicious too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
I think my favorite's your rosé.
Yeah, well, the new rosé's just come out or been bottled.
Yeah.
We've got a new little label to boot, bit of gold writing in that there, and different image. We won't go into that. But colour this year, I think it's a bit lighter than last year, and a little bit. Yeah, it's nice. And I also think like
you were talking a little bit about the label.
Yeah.
It was crafted by somebody very special, right?
This label. Yeah.
Yeah.
You drew it. Do I say my wife or do I say the lady that drew the picture?
You better say your wife, man.
The brains behind the corporation.
Yeah. And another friend of ours drew the image. Yeah. So she's done good. I wouldn't have done it. I would have just left it the same. I hate labels. I just want to put the stuff in the bottle. Yeah, I think going back to the price stuff, I think our reserve range, our reds and our Chardonnays are really, really good price too. You know, I reckon they're $40 bottle of wine, some of them. You know,
easy. Yeah, single vineyard or small vineyard, hand, all that stuff. It's easily, yeah.
$28. Good drinking.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, there's also, we're going to run a poll tonight and discuss it at the end, which is all around, what are the Angel's favorite varieties that you make. It's just popped up on the screen, so we'll take votes throughout, and then we can chat about it at the end. So please just vote away, and we'll come back to it later on. Just before we get off organics, Ian has a question regarding whether it's easy or not to farm organic in the Hunter.
Another thing. Oh, Shiraz, what have I done here? There we go. Am I back? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes and no. I mean, in really dry, hot years, bloody perfect. But when it's a bit wet, no, it can be trying. But just like any other vineyard, like in wet years, it's very trying. I think, but what saves vineyards that are organically grown in the Hunter is the canopy management. There's that bit more open canopy, more airflow, and probably a little bit less cropping. So in those wet years, when you have a drenching of rain and then it comes out hot and muggy and humid, there's no air, that's when you get botrytis, and that inside those canopies and those bunches are sweating, and they're going to start developing mold and all sorts of stuff. I think with organic winemaking, it's a more open canopy, so we get more airflow and dries out quicker in the Hunter. So that's one thing. I also think, I just don't think there's not as many pests down there either. Like there's not as many, like in the cooler regions, I reckon there's more pests to deal with down there. It's a bit easier up here. And we had a vineyard up in the upper Hunter, which is a lot drier up there as well. We didn't get as much rain as the lower Hunter, which is down here. So that's also good. But no, I think it is what it is. It's how you manage it and your observations and how you go about things. Yeah. There's no real recipe. It's, you either got it or you don't, I think, sometimes.
Sure. And the final one before we get on to some other stuff, this is from Nettie Quattro, who wants to know, is it still tradition to put a rose bush at the end of the vines as a natural pest help to keep away from the produce?
Yeah, there's two stories that. There's one, that is a true story, and there's also a story to make it look pretty, especially when you drive it into the vineyard. But also they reckon when they start flowering or there's bud bursts, it's a sign of bud bursts, and you can sort of tell at the start of the season, bit of a mother's myth that way.
Yep.
Yeah. But I like to believe in it. Yeah. Bit of romance, the rose bushes.
So can you tell us how Horner Wines has changed? I mean, if you just want to start from when you met it naked, but 2013 to now 2020, what's the difference? How's it changed?
Well, a lot, hasn't it? It's been a bloody ride. So I started off in the back shed in Cessna, in the carport. They had a little cool room there, a little crusher and a little tank, and now I own a 200-ton winery. I'm about to open a cellar door and potentially put a vineyard in a bit later. It's just gone gangbusters. I mean, I'm living the dream, basically living the dream. It is, mate, best thing since sliced bread. Like everyone asks me all the time, how's Naked Wines going? How's that? Hey, good. Because like I'm going, I'm doing stuff. You've created something that's just, I don't know when it's going to stop, to tell you the truth. It's good.
Hopefully not, ever.
It's better than like.
Can you give us a little bit of an insight into the 2020 vintage, specifically around the fires that hit the area, but then also more to you hit on a bit before about the drought and how that affected your personally, your family, but then also the vintage as well. Yeah,
so 2 years ago the drought affected us, really got us. We got no water, we had no water to grow grapes, and we made the hard decision not to go ahead with it. My dad did prune, but only because he felt like he had to. So it's pretty devastating. And
So this is the vineyard that you helped your dad plant?
Yeah, helped Dad plant. So it was a 20-year-old vineyard. We're just starting to hit our straps. The fruit was like just starting to get there. We won a couple of trophies a couple of years before, and the wines, I thought, and we're getting all our reserve wines from there. And I was really just starting to figure out how to make them, and it was really all coming together, and that happened. But, we had to move on. That's farming, and thanks to Naked Wines, we could. So we went off to Orange and sourced grapes up there. And this year, the drought's been going for 2 or 3 years now. Orange has been all right. They were all right the year before, 2019. They had a bit of water in dams and stuff like that. They're not on the river up there. They rely on a lot of bore water. That was running out, but they had dam water. So we had a pretty good vintage in 2019, really good reds and good crop, It wasn't too bad down. It was 15% down or something like that, which is pretty normal. This year in Orange with the drought, I got a phone call just before Christmas. I was up at Crescent Head, sitting on the beach with my big belly out, getting a bit of sun. And he rang me up, my grower, Justin Jarrett. He goes, mate, I've got one irrigation left on the vineyard, and then we're done until we get rain. And it's like, and this is the time when the grapes are going to start changing colour and start braze on ripening. It's a very crucial time, to fill the berries out, to give them what they need to put everything into it.
Yeah.
Crikey, here we go. And then the fires are happening. And the fires happened, I don't know, on and off from October, and then really hit their straps in November, that sort of stuff. And I don't think it really come to light with smoke taint until about November. I think a lot of winemakers think, oh, we could have a problem here. The smoke's been hanging around and it's stinky and all that sort of stuff. And so it was a bit of a double whammy. We weren't sure we were going to have a vintage, but you've got to stay optimistic and always optimistic. Even if we get some grapes off, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So we had, we sort of went for. I think I told you. Well, I think I contacted you, Paul, and said, mate, if I don't get any grapes, can I, go anywhere else, whatever? And you said, we'll cross it when we get there. So that was a bit of positive thinking, which is good. And we didn't have to get there, thank God. We got a little bit of rain in between on January up at Orange, which helped us out, and Justin Jarrett, and I think organics as well, because the roots are down deep up there. And our grower, he pushed them through, and we managed to get a pretty decent crop off up there. The only thing is, in Orange, they had patches of smoke taint in different areas. You got sort of Canobolas on one side, and then there's another region on the other side of grape growing over near the Balmoral vineyard, which Philip Shaw planted when he first come to Orange. So there's two sides there, and there was little pockets where people had different smoke taint levels than others, and in different varieties. More so Pinot got a bit hard hit up there, I heard. So the usual organic vineyard, my grower there's got a pretty big portfolio of organic vineyards. So what we had to do was we had a couple of hours infected that we weren't going to pick. They're just too risky to go there, because we tested for the smoke taint levels. So I'll just take a drink of water. So what the smoke taint is when the grapes are ripening and there's a lot of smoke hanging around, and it hangs around for, I think it's 8 hours or 6 hours or something like that, exposure time, and it's really stinky. The grapes can absorb that smoke taint or that smell and bind to the sugar molecules in the grape. So they can test at the Australian Wine Research the different parts per million or grams per million or microliters per million, I think it was, of these different chemical compounds, sugar compounds, what levels you got. But there's no clear science. No one really knows what these levels really mean. They know that high levels... What
a safe level is, or...
Yeah, what a safe level is, and, because there hasn't been enough research on it, really, but now there's a lot of it. Hopefully we never see it again. But, so we did that, and we determined we had really low levels in some of them, so we had to go and get vineyards up in Orange that some were in conversion to organic as well. So I think you'll find our Sauv Blanc this year is in conversion, and our Rosé is in conversion, because we had to source. So we usually get Merlot for our Rosé from his Springvale vineyard, but we end up getting it from Balmoral, which has lower level smoke taint. So, and thanks to our grower and thanks to Naked Wines that we can pay our bills, these grow, he does anything for us. He's searched his whole property just to get our quota, and in good shape, and he's done a really, really good job. Really happy. And then there's processes in the winery that can eliminate these sugar molecules from liberating out of the grapes when it ferments, out of the skins and out of the juice. Because these cursors are volatile cursors, and then they release that smoke taint flavour, or like you're sucking on a cigarette butt, and just it's not very good. So in the winery, we less skin contact this year because we don't want to leave it in contact with the skins and the pulp and all that. We don't want to extract any of those, anything we don't want.
Yeah.
And we didn't use an enzyme, a macerating enzyme, so we never use an enzyme when we press to release any aromatics or any more flavour out of the grapes when we're pressing. We didn't do that because we weren't sure we were going to release something we didn't want to. And then in the winery, we just quick fermentation and nice, a bit warmer than what we usually do, just nice and quick to get them through. So we, nice and healthy. And then no time too much on lees at the bottom, especially our aromatics like our Sauv Blanc of the dead yeast cells at the bottom. We got them off that quick, keep them fresh, because we believe in that lees might be what's hiding all the bad stuff. So, which is usually the good stuff, which we like to use. And so we've done everything differently. Everything they tell you to do in winemaking, we did differently to try and eliminate this stuff, and it seemed to have worked. So,
is this the first time you've had to work with smoke taint fruit?
Yeah, first time.
So
First time.
where did you sort of learn what to do or hear what to do? Is it sort of a suck it and see thing, or?
Well, I talked to a lot of people, talked to a lot of winemakers, and read a lot of stuff. Because the AWRI also gave you the same sort of parameters, saying, well, you could do this, these are a few options you can do. And then it's up to you to put into practice what you think's right. But with our Chardonnay's on the East Lees because it's looking really good. And the wines are just bottled and, we're in the same sort of category and levels of smoke taint, and they're fine. So I've gone with the Chardonnay with lees. And my sparkling base is still on lees and it's still looking really good. And my Shiraz, which I'll leave on a little bit of Malo leaves, is still on that as well. Whereas I reckon a lot of winemakers, and if you're scared, a little bit paranoid about it, you would have racked it off that clean of the barrel, put it all back. But that's not my winemaking, and I don't want to change things too much in style. But because I think the wines that I've just bottled, the Sauv Blanc and the Rosé, are just a little bit lighter in flavour this year, I think, because I haven't used a few of those techniques that I use to extract more flavour, more aromatic.
Right.
Which isn't a bad thing, but I think they're just a bit fresher, a bit lighter, which is a good thing and more approachable. I think people are sort of going that lighter wine anyway.
Yeah, I mean, should we talk about the wines now? All the wines that you wanted to run through?
Yep. Well, I've got about 30 here. I'll just get in here. What do you want to go first? Savvy?
Yeah,
well, rolling into this question, actually, Michelle asked, what is your favorite wine to make and drink?
Ooh, I love all my wines equally. I really like making Chardonnay, just because you can do a lot of different techniques with it. I like the textures on Chardonnay. I like making my Shiraz Marsanne and my Shiraz Viognier because it's just something different. And I like open the barrel every month and just, oh, wow, look at this, it's different. And, but we treat all our wines the same and give them the same level of care because everything's got to be drinkable and can't have a bad horse in a stable. We try not to anyway.
Yeah, great. All right, well, tell us about your new wine.
This is a Savvy Pole, and you were saying it's very aromatic this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a return to form. I reckon it's got that really lovely passion fruit jumping out of the glass. Yep. It's really, really approachable. It's just lovely.
Yep, I agree there. It's back to form. We've had a couple of years there. They've been really just a bit more moderate. So I think the fruit had a bit more hang time and they're a bit more luscious and aromatic. And the palate's just nice and super fresh. Plenty of flavour, passion fruit. The Angels are going to love it again. They love it already. They're big followers of this one. Nice. I'm happy. You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic, mate. It's fantastic. I'm
what
just
would
trying
you
to
pair with it?
Yeah.
Oh, what would I pair with it? Lovely fire. No, probably just seafood, prawns, fish. Anything really, cheese sitting out in the back in the sun. Beautiful all-rounder, really. We have a lot of people comment that it goes really well with like their meal too, like roast chickens and stuff like that, which is interesting. Because I think in our wines it's the texture. We've got a little bit of texture in there that we're sort of getting known for. I think there's a bit of a style that sort of works good with drinking by itself, but then also good with food. I like to feel a bit of texture on my tongue and lips. Yeah. Is that weird?
Nah.
Not at all, mate. Not at all.
Not at all. No, we're all friends here.
And so Savvy from Sauvignon Blanc from Orange is a region that you think works well with Sauvignon Blanc, as opposed to the Hunter, or?
Yeah, cool climate, more hanging time. This stuff sits at anywhere between 870 to 900 meters above sea level. And
why is that important?
It's just the longer, cooler nights, longer ripening. So you get, it still gets relatively warm over Orange, 30 degrees, something like that, but the nights might drop down to 10, something like that, 8, 9. So that just slows things down a lot, slows the heat down the ground. So, they just have a bit more of a hang time, so they get more intense flavour, more time to cook, I suppose, and roast.
To the sugar to ripen and get more flavour.
Yeah, more flavour, and holds the acidity well as well, without the acidity going down. Whereas the Hunter, when they ripen, the acidity just drops out big time. Like you get the flavour, but then, whereas Orange, you get the flavour and the acidity nearly line and line, which is really nice.
Do you source fruit from any other regions apart from Hunter and Orange?
Yep, we go to Cowra for a Verdelho. So we used to get the Verdelho from Upper Hunter from my dad's. We found some nice, lovely Verdelho, organic Verdelho out of Cowra, and it's been very consistent. I think the first vintage was 2019, 18,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a hit. It's been really good. I think it's actually more popular than the Hunter stuff. Especially there's more going on in a Cowra Verdelho. It's a bit more, you can get passion fruit, green apple, and your tropical citrus. Whereas down the Hunter, it's probably more your tropical, bang.
Yeah, it's like tin pineapple and really
that's
in your face.
And up in, so this is it here. Crack that one. Up there you still get lovely acidity too.
Where's Cowra for those people that don't know where Cowra is?
Just below Orange, sort of on the western side. You go down the mountain and into Cowra. And then you got Canowindra, or on the river flats down there. There's a nice big river because they've got plenty of water, and it's a very underrated region, I think. And the fruit's it's well priced. I think because it's a fair way out there, and it's not as fashionable as Orange, or as pretty as Orange. But there's some nice farm country out there and plenty of water. We get some nice Shiraz, Cabernet, and Cowra from there. And it's Cowra from there, and Verdelho, sorry. Yeah, very underrated. McGuigan and I think Brokenwood used to have a big vineyard out there once upon a time, and used to supply their cricket pitch stuff. And I don't know what happened to that, but I think they moved on to other stuff. But yeah, it just goes to show it can happen out there if you put the effort into the vineyard blokes out there. And our funding, your funding by these grapes are helping those guys out there going. Vineyards like that probably wouldn't necessarily have been pulled out. So it's really good we've been able to approach them, and it's been really good.
I just got a question from Ali, who asks what you mean by texture when you talk about texture.
Like a subtle creaminess. Some winemakers might say phenolics, right? But they're phenolics in a good way, where they're balanced between flavour, acidity, and then just a little bit of texture feel on your mouth, like a nice, warm, cuddly sensation, I should say.
Nice warm doona.
Yeah, that's right. Nice warm doona. A onesie. You got the Verdelho, Paul?
Yeah, I just pour some Verdelho now. I think you're right. It is very similar to Sauvignon Blanc in that sort of passion fruity aroma that's coming out of it.
Yeah, and that's picked at sort of fall Beaumet, so relatively early. It's out 13%. So yeah. It's got some really nice freshness about it. It's nice citrus. And the Angels, mate, they've been loving this Verdelho. I think it was rating 93 or 94% there at one stage. And a lot of people they can't find a good Verdelho. or they drank Vidella 20 years ago and then went off it, or people pulled out the vines and they've come back to it and they're really, really enjoying it, which is good for us. We make a bit of a name for Vidella. We don't do a lot, but our little style, yeah. You know, people think it's a veranda wine, but I think it's more than that.
Yeah, I mean, this particular vintage, it looks pretty serious, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think that's, well, it's a reserve, and it's a reserve wine, but, you know, it's still got to be nice and drinkable. It's still got to be a relatively sit on the veranda, I suppose, and have a, you know, but it's got to take to a dinner party, maybe just, you know, look a little bit fresher and prettier and impress.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So you're saying that's a good wine to show off when you go to a friend's dinner party?
Oh, our reserve wine's a lot for that, but we also have a lot of comments on our little Jack stuff too that, you know, we'd happily take it to a dinner party or to a dinner party and everyone was impressed, even though it was an $18 bottle of wine, you know. Yeah, I think I love people that comment that they're surprised, you know, by a wine or by a variety. I think that's the ultimate sometimes.
I think I love that with all the notes that you can get through the Naked app, you can bring little information and tips about each wines that you have to a dinner party or kind of show off to your friends. I know I definitely do that when I crack open a fresh bottle of Ashwarner wine. I'm like, well, listen, this one was made here and it's best served with this dish. And
that's right.
It's really nice.
They're a lot more armed with more information than going to a bottle shop and just picking it off the shelf and reading off the back label, or thinking they know.
Oh,
such,
yeah.
You know, I think the wine anglers are more, it is a good thing.
You mentioned reserve. Erin is asking the question, what does reserve mean? What does a reserve wine mean?
So reserve to us is just the top, the best we can do, the best we can produce, the ones we put a bit more effort into in terms of winemaking, like it could be oak or longer on lees, or you know, the fruit might be a bit more high price because there's different stuff done in the vineyard. It might be harvested differently, like hand picking, for instance, stuff like that. I mentioned new oak. Yeah, so they're the wines we just sort of that are made more serious and more high quality. Not, I shouldn't say high quality because all our wines are the same quality, but just stylistically, I should be saying a different style. Yeah, try a little Jack stuff. So, and wines, them sort of wines you can put in the cellar for a little bit as well. You know, longer. So the little Jack stuffs are more you drink now, Wednesday night pizza, that sort of stuff. Where the reserve stuff, you can have one now, they drink them beautifully now, but you can also put someone away knowing, rest assured, it's going to be better or, you know, just as good when you first had it.
Fantastic.
I don't like the name reserve for a wine, but
you put it on the label.
I have. What's another good word? All in France they do Grand Cru. We can't do all that sort of stuff, or First Cru, you know.
Ashes Cru.
Ashes Cru.
You can do whatever you want, mate. It's your wine.
Ashes, no, I've got our family there because I've got a nice little family that help me do it. Don't I? Get your hands on that, Lauren.
Do you want to move on to the rosé?
Yep, let's do that. See, we
Wait, just tell everyone a little bit about the rosé, what it's made from, and all that sort of stuff.
So the rosé is made out of Merlot from Orange, and this vineyard is intentionally grown for rosé. So we pick it early, nice and early. So it's only 12.5% alcohol, so we pick about 12. So when we pick it at 12, we've still got nice acidity. All the berries are fully coloured or fully developed. So we got a little bit of green berry there as well. So that gives us, the green berries gives us nice acidity. And then it also helps with the lighter colour as well. So does that look all right through there? Not too bad.
Looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want any darker than that. That's about my limit right there. But it looks pretty good. So we get this to the winery from Orange. It gets the skin contact on the way down. So that's about an 8-hour trip after it's been machine picked, machine harvested. That's where we pick up a bit of colour and a bit of flavour. It gets to the winery. We press it straight away. We let all the good juice drain off first, and then we give it a light press just to get the rest of it out, and not all the pressings. Because with red wines, they've got more phenolics, so we don't want to press it where we get more phenolics and more of that puckery feel. We like rosés that are nice and soft, nice and smooth, and soft and cuddly again for that texture. Not too sweet. All right, and so this one's got nice, lovely raspberry, I think, on the nose, a little bit cherry, sort of musk.
Strawberry, yeah.
Strawberry, yeah, and also a little bit of watermelon pulp.
Absolutely. Not actually in the wine, it just smells of it, right? Is this drier than you would normally make, or that you have made? Sorry.
A little bit dry, yes, but I feel the flavours there. When I feel the flavour's going to get better as it sits in bottle. It's just been bottled for 2 weeks, and it's starting to look a bit better already. It's starting to look more generous. I think the flavour's there. Otherwise, I would have made it a little bit more puckerish, I think, for the punters. But I've got faith that it'll be enough, hopefully. Because they've all been dry, but there's only like a Mickey hair difference between this one and the other one. But, you know, it's also a different vintage, so different flavours and all that sort of stuff. And I've done different techniques in the winery. Goes a long way to it.
Yeah, Lisa asks, why are some sweet and some dry?
Oh, it's just a style thing. Whatever the winemaker, it's usually the market they're going for, I think. I do look at markets when I'm making wines for the people that drink. I shouldn't say markets, but for the people that are drinking my wines, like Angels. But also want to make wines that I want to drink as well, and stand behind and say, you know, I bloody like this rosé. Like, I don't like really sweet rosés. This is dry, and I think it's plenty of flavour. I love the flavour, you know. And also it sort of helps it bat in that sort of a little bit more serious rosé, and people that want a little bit more flavour. I think this hopefully sits well there. I mean, we have a lot of people comment that they love that our rosés aren't sweet. And aren't old sweet. And I think also too, sometimes people, it's a little bit dark colour, they look at that and they think it is sweet, maybe. But no, she's a dry.
It's just all about the balance though, isn't it? That you could have sweetness in the wine, but as long as there's acidity to balance it, or vice versa.
Your acidity also brings out your saliva and your, you know, starts your, yeah. And it's got to be smooth. Rosés are going to be soft. You know, a lot of these rosés, you get that sort of back phenolic, that back just doesn't sit right. A bit of a bitterness, I should say. Yeah. So what I did learn with this rosé this year off a winemaking friend of mine, James Becker, give you a shout out if you're watching, from Oakvale. He splashes his rosés when he ferments, so he splashes them like a red wine. And that helps knock out a bit of colour, and also helps with phenolics, helps soften the palate and give you that texture. And I never used to do that, and I always used to find a little bit of a bitterness at the back palate I never quite liked on my rosés. And this year I tried the splashing, and it's worked a treat. But you can overdo it. You can oversplash and lose too much fruit. So you got to look at it and say, well, that's enough, you know, or one more.
And Lisa again asks, should rosé be consumed when it's bought, or can it be kept for a while?
Yeah, look, you can keep a rosé for, I'd say, 2 years, depending on the style. I mean, if it's a big, fat, sweet one, I'll probably not. I'd drink it pretty straight away. But if it's something relatively dry and fresh and that, yeah, why not? For sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Should we move on? You got some reds to look at? Is that?
What do you want to go to, Paul? Shiraz Marsanne, Shiraz?
We'll do the Shiraz Marsanne, because that's a very interesting one. You can tell a little bit of the people about Marsanne as well.
Yep. Can you hear the young bloke crying? The baby's awake. Poor little fella. So this is a Shiraz Marsanne, Family Reserve, 2019. So we've got, look on the back, 4% Marsanne, which is a white grape, fermented with a red grape. And they both come from orange. So the Marsanne in this was the same Marsanne in our other Marsanne wines, our Little Jack and our Family Reserve as well. So I think this is a cracking wine. So this replaces our Shiraz Viognier from the Upper Hunter. And I actually think the Marsanne works a little bit better. So I think the Marsanne is just a bit more floral, better structure. than the Viognier. Viognier can be a little bit more overt, a bit riper characters sometimes, apricot, and ginger, aniseed. Yeah. There's a really good vintage up there too, so the grapes are really ripe. This one's 14% alcohol, so got really nice colour, intensely coloured, beautiful.
It's lovely, yeah.
Oh, it's a fantastic wine.
It's different. I don't think you won't find one on Naked Wines.
No.
And I'm not too sure where you find one across Australia, really. But it'd be interesting to find out. So I just did a little bit of research online and talked to a couple of French blokes about it, but we never tasted one. So we're just sort of making it the same way as we made our Shiraz Viognier, and sort of went down that path, and sort of tried and kept to those sort of techniques because it's relatively the same. The only difference is the region from orange. But there's pepper, there's white peach on the nose, there's violets, and then there's some really nice oak on this that the Angels, have funded that really make it a really nice wine.
Yeah, it's a absolutely beautiful wine. Where did you get the? Sorry.
Smooth and silky.
Yeah, it's lovely. Where did you get the idea to blend a white grape with a red grape?
I think it was my dad. He planted Viognier and he has Shiraz up there. And for a couple of years, he was into me about making a Shiraz Viognier, and I thought he was nuts, blending white with the red. And I was only just starting out too. I mean, that was nearly 15 years ago. And I hadn't really done my research and still going a bit blind and thought he was crazy. And when we started making wine together, he bugged me into it, and I did it, threw it together, sort of haven't looked back. Yeah, and then did some research and talked to other winemakers and drank lots of Shiraz Viogniers and read a lot about Plump Killer down there. What's his name? Tim Adams? Or? Kurt, not Tim. Sorry, Kurt. Yeah.
And you also do a straight Marsanne.
Yeah, straight Marsanne. Yeah, in the reserve.
Or two versions. Can you explain the difference between the two?
So the little jack, Marsanne. So we do a Marsanne in a little jack. So it's just an easy drinking white wine, just like the Sauv Blanc is. And then we also do a reserve Marsanne, which we do in Hungarian oak barrels, and we ferment it in there, quite like a Chardonnay, and like we used to do our Viognier with as well, which was quite popular. So we've just adapted our winemaking from Viognier to Marsanne. And we use the same techniques, we just get different characters. This is a different variety. Yeah. And Marsanne's quite pretty, actually. It can be quite floral and quite nice and fresh on the palate. You can sometimes, if it's ripe enough, you get a little bit of honey, a little honeycomb on the palate. So, and it can age quite nicely too, like that, like a bit like a Semillon. Yeah,
it's like a Semillon, yeah.
Quite close, yeah.
Fantastic. And what's the difference between the family reserve Shiraz Marsanne and just the straight Shiraz for you?
So the Shiraz is from the same vineyard, like we used to do with our Shiraz Viognier. So it's from the same vineyard, but just without the Marsanne. And fermented, this one was actually fermented in a couple of open top fermenters and hand plunged instead of a different technique, and then blended together. And some really, really nice oak, nearly similar oak to this one, a little bit different. Yeah.
And what is the open fermenter? What does that bring to the wine?
It's just we can get in there. We can hand plunge it or hand stomp it or dive into it. It's just a bit more. You be gentle with it. You be rough with it. You use different techniques on it. This one again this one's more instead of being like a bit more white peach and more floral and a bit more spicy. The Shiraz Marsanne, the Shiraz is a bit more luscious, more cherries, more blackberries, more blueberries, more denser on more fruits of the forest on the nose.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit more prominent. Yeah, I'm really happy with them both.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions here before we finish up. So Judy would like to know which wine you are most proud of, and which is the best in your opinion.
Wine I'm most proud of come from my dad's place, and I think they always will. It's just holds something special to me, I think, because I grew up there. And he popped he bought the place and helped my dad plant the vineyard. Spent a lot of time there. And the wines out there are really bloody good, like underrated, underrated little area. We had our own little bloody ecosystem up there at Sandy Hollow. It was perfect. They're probably the wines I'm most proud of, and also won a few trophies on the bigger stages with those wines too. Wines we made one pallet out of, stuff like that. But also I like grapes from Orange. I really like Orange as a wine region. Really, really interesting. You can grow a number of different varieties. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. But I love them all.
We've got a couple of questions from a couple of different people about your cellar door and when it's opening.
Yep. Well, we're nearly there. We've got the doors in, the bars in. I should put a picture up on Naked Wines. I've been doing the Facebook. Hopefully open by the end of the month. We've just got to, once it's all constructed, we've got to go through the certifiers and get everything ticked off. So hopefully end of the month. And we want to hold a little Naked Wines party if we can, depending on what's going on in the world. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Excited about having somewhere for Angels to come and say hello and meet everyone face to face. Good.
Yeah, it'll be super exciting.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. It's been a long time coming, and it's all thanks to you guys. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
Well, the Angels, really.
That's what I mean, the Angels.
Yeah. Exactly.
You guys, everyone.
Exactly. And just before we get on to the results from the poll, Malcolm has a question about the bottles that are sitting there behind you. Why or how they get up there? What's the most special wine and how they get up there?
Stagger up there, drunk as a skunk after I try to put them up there. So they're just wines that, I might have brought back from travels from France, or I've worked at their wineries, or I know the winemakers, or they've let me visit their winery. Wines I've kept, and I want to remember them because I don't really get my hands on them. They're pretty rare wines, actually, like little wineries that you would never have heard of. So I want to remember the labels so they go up on the mantelpiece. I've also got them all around the top of the kitchen cupboard, all that sort of stuff. I had to throw a couple out because I was getting a bit carried away. But there's some nice old McWilliams ones up here. That's the 1977 Hermitage from McWilliams, Mount Pleasant. There's also, this one's an interesting one. This is the McWilliams Mount Pleasant from the Hunter Valley, and it's called Rhine Riesling, 1979.
Wow.
That's actually Semillon, I'd say.
History in a bottle.
Green bottle. Pretty sexy, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, so that's and that's just a map of wine regions in France. An old map, actually. So.
Fantastic. Well, can you see the results there, Ash? The Shiraz takes it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty close, though. I mean, the Sauvignon Blanc was nipping at its heels, but...
There's those up there. It's good. I'll tell you what, the sparkling's going well, too.
Yeah.
Really enjoying that. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just Shiraz in general,
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Oh, well, that's awesome, mate. So thank you very much for tonight. I think we've got through most of the questions there. So I hope I'm pretty sure everyone got a lot out of it. Had a good time.
I never really classed myself as a red winemaker. I actually classed myself as a white winemaker. I feel I make better white wines. But when I went to France, for the Naked Wines thing, and I made a red wine over there, I learned a lot about the techniques of red winemaking. So it looks like it might be paying off.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, there are a few questions on serving about the wines and just little information about each wines that you've made. If Ash didn't touch on it tonight, you can always go to his profile at Naked Wines and click on the specific wine that you want to learn about, and you'll find little information on serving temps and even where the region, if it's a vegetarian wine, organic, or the blend of the grape. So it's always a great resource to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Malcolm's still on there, Paul?
I'm not sure. Potentially.
He said he was going to crack a 2014 Shiraz Viognier Family Reserve tonight. I just want to know how it was, how it went. I'll give him 2 seconds.
Okay. Delicious, he says. Delicious.
Oh, did he? Good. Very
There
good.
you go.
It was good vintage, that one. Cracking year.
All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for tonight. It was very informative. The wines look great. They'll be available shortly on the website, probably a week or so.
Yep.
Thanks, Dannon.
Not too much. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Jeanette.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again. I haven't seen you for a while.
I know.
That's good.
I think when I visited you, you were kind of just building the cellar door. So I can't wait to see the final product.
No, you won't believe it though. It's totally, it's good. Thank you very much, everyone.
And
Angels.
how's the soil? You said you're prepping. Your dream is to get some vines out behind the cellar door. How's that going?
Yeah, sort of put it on the back burner with the drought and not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a bit easy to buy fruit at the moment, but I think we'll get there eventually. There's a lot of bloody unrest in the world, you know, and droughts and climate and yeah. But hopefully within the next sort of maybe 3 years we might start planning. Might put a little cabin on here for you to come and stay at for a vineyard. Makes more money.
Fantastic.
Less risk.
All right, cool. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks to the Angels for joining us, and hope you can join us for next week when we have, what are we doing? Pinot. It's all about Pinot next week, so hope you can join us.
Rob and Rod.
Sorry?
Rob and Rod.
Yeah, that's it.
Very good.
All right, we'll see you later.
Good on you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ash. Thank you.
Thank you.